Babzie again, and today we'll be making cornmeal porridge. Now, there's a lot of you that might not be aware of what cornmeal porridge is, but from the name itself, it's a porridge. It can be eaten for breakfast. I usually like it any time of the day because it's just that nice. I love cornmeal porridge in the morning. I can have it at lunch. It's just an all-rounder. And if you stay tuned, you'll be able to see how I prepare it, what ingredients I use in my recipe. Okay, so this is what you need for your cornmeal porridge. We need some coconut milk, some condensed milk, at least 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, some mixed spice. I love this mixed spice. You can literally get this from your local supermarket or from your local meat shop. Basically it has cinnamon and some other ground spices, but that spice in particular, the mixed spice, is regularly used in puddings, cakes, you name it. We also need some fine cornmeal. Basically I prefer fine cornmeal just because it gives the cornmeal porridge a much smoother texture. So in your local meat shop, you might have two choices of cornmeal to buy or purchase. You would either have fine cornmeal, which has a smaller grain. I tend to go for this. Or you might see coarse cornmeal, and it has much bigger grains. So I think preferably it's better to purchase some smooth cornmeal, or let's say fine cornmeal. I know a lot of people may use coarse cornmeal because that's the only thing that is available in their store. It really is up to you. Okay, so I have my mixing bowl and I'm literally going to tip in my coconut milk. It looks a bit lumpy. The only reason why is just because the coconut oil separated from the milk itself. So you can just give that a little mix. A quick mix. It's not going to affect the texture of the cornmeal porridge. Just give that a little mix. And then I'm just gonna tip in my cornmeal. So what I do, I tip in the cornmeal, mix it into my coconut milk. So I prefer doing it like this just because I've noticed if I was to place my cornmeal straight into the pot with the coconut milk and the boiling water, it tends to get lumpy fast. So obviously this is me learning from experience. I don't know how you do your cornmeal. I've seen other people do it the same way, so I'm assuming I'm doing it right, or I have been doing it right. With this cornmeal, you don't want to be rushing, and I think overall, or I believe overall, when it comes to cooking, you don't want to rush. So if you know you can give it an extra 2 minutes, give it extra 2 minutes. If you have a whisk, that would be good to use, but I'm just using whatever I have at home. Okay, so in my pot, I'm going to pour my already pre-boiled boiling water. And what we're going to do, we're going to add our mixture, or add our cornmeal that has been mixed into the coconut milk into our pot, and we're literally going to stir. I suggest place it on a low flame because you will literally start seeing the cornmeal start popping up. yeah, and then it will just get so thick straight away. So just keep stirring until you notice that the texture of the porridge becomes a bit thicker. Now this is just to prevent any lumps. As you can see, it's very nice and smooth, no lumps. So as you can see, the texture is much more smoother, just a slightly bit thicker, but that's okay, it's just the cornmeal cooking. For a texture like this, I'll probably add a little bit more water, because what we're going to do now is then add our flavors. You can see the texture is definitely nice and creamy. As I said, I prefer to use fine cornmeal just because it gives me that smoothness, and then also it would cook much quicker. So now I'm going to add my flavouring or my flavours. So add a pinch of salt, just a little of the mixed spice, not too much, about a 1.5 teaspoon of vanilla, and then just give that a stir. We've added all our spices, our vanilla, our mixed spice, our salt. Did I miss out anything? I don't think so. And then last but not the least, it's the condensed milk. Now I'm going to pour a generous amount into it just because I know how I like my cornmeal. Also, I have a sweet tooth, so I love it quite sweet, not too sweet, but just enough. So once you add the condensed milk and your flavors, your spices, it then transforms that bland maize into a nice creamy textured cornmeal porridge. I'm sure you've noticed the change in color as well. That's because of the condensed milk, just giving it a bit more thickness. So that's what I said, if you need to add your water. So we're just going to, for the last 5 minutes of the cooking process, we're just going to leave this to simmer, let the flavors come together, and that's literally it. So here you have it, guys, a nice bowl of cornmeal porridge. I've coupled it up with some water crackers. For those who don't know about water crackers, listen, these look so hard and tough right now, but once it's absorbed into liquid, if you have it with tea or even cornmeal, trust me, just break it up, add some in your cornmeal, and you will literally taste a nice moist, soft water cracker. So it's really up to you. You can have the cornmeal porridge by itself, you can have it with water crackers as I said, and you can also have it with some bread. It's really up to you.